Hey Omies, I'm Ewashkiw. Thanks for joining me for this intermediate level 30-minute practice that I call Yoga for Strength, and we're going to strengthen our obliques today. Unroll your mat, and I'll meet you there in just a few seconds. Alright, so we're going to start in cat-cow, so come on your hands and knees and move through a few rounds of cat and cow. Start to wake your spine up, get it moving. Get the muscles of your upper body awake. Do another couple of those and then come to neutral. Back to all fours. And then come up onto your right fingertips. And take your left arm and thread it underneath your right arm. And then take your outside of your head and your left shoulder down to the mat. Take your left arm and stretch it out to the right. Balasana. Stretch your right elbow forward, move your hips to the left, and stretch long through your right side. You can even think about breathing into your right side. That helps open it up a lot for some people. Push down through your right hand, move your hips to the left a little. And come back to center. Come up onto your left fingertips as you're coming through center and go to the other side. Balasana. Take your right arm and thread it underneath your left. Have the outside of your head and your right shoulder on the ground or as close as you can get. Stretch your left elbow forward, shift your hips to the right. And stretch long through your left side. Breathe into it. Then come back to all fours. Stretch your right arm out in front of you. Stretch your left leg back. Find your balance. Push down through the bits of you that are still on the ground. And then Virasana. Bring your elbow and knee to touch. Round your back and stretch it out. Draw it in and touch. Stretch out, look up. Draw it in and touch. Stretch it out, look up. Draw it in and touch. And out. And once more. And down, all fours. Stretch your left arm out, right leg back. Virasana, other side. We'll do 5 of these. Draw it in and touch, elbow to knee. Stretch it out, look up. Draw it in and touch. And stretch it out. Try not to kick over the puja behind you. Stretch it in and touch. Sorry, Shiva, stretch it out. Draw it in and touch. And stretch it out. I got distracted, hand down, knee down. We're gonna call that 5. Come into downward facing dog. And a little more, stretch it out. Stretch out your calves here. So straighten one leg, bend the other, and stay there. With your legs straight, stretch your hip up and heel back and down. And then change sides. So one leg bent, one leg straight. With the straight leg, lift your hip up and back, lift your heel back and down. And change sides again, back to the first side. And change sides again. Back to the second side. And then come into regular, still, downward facing dog. Lift up through your hips. Push down through your hands. We're going to do a little modified Surya Namaskar A. It's going to go like this. Shift forward to plank pose. And lower Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Shift forward to plank. And Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. That's it. Plank pose. Take your right knee outside your right arm. Touch. And plank. Take your right knee outside your right arm, touch and hold, and plank. Once more, right knee outside your right arm, and plank. Left knee outside your left arm. Not probably too surprising. And plank. Take your left knee outside your left arm, touch it if you can, and plank. And once more, left knee outside your left arm, and plank. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Place your hands on your waist, bend your knees a little, and stand up. And then come to the top of your mat and stand at the top of your mat. Stretch your arms up overhead and fold forward, Uttanasana. Step your right leg back for lunge and set your legs up for lunge or Banarasana. Knee over your ankle, right leg straight, look forward, and then bring your right knee down to the ground. So low lunge. Push down through your left foot, push down through your right knee, and without moving your foot and your knee, draw them in towards each other a little so that your lower legs get strong, your legs get strong. Lift your torso. Bring your hands onto your waist. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Stretch up through your spine. And turn to the left, twist, and side bend. Twisted lunge. We'll do a low lunge here. Push down through your right arm, and twist to the left. Come back to center. Bring your hands down to the ground, straighten your right leg. Step your right leg forward, and left leg back. Start in Banarasana, or lunge. Bring your right knee over your right ankle, straighten your left leg and look forward. And then bring your left knee down to the ground. Low lunge. Look forward. Pull your right foot and left knee energetically in towards each other so your legs get a little more engaged, so you can lift your torso, bring your hands to your hips, and then bring your hands in front of your heart. Stretch up through your spine and twist to the right. Touch your left arm outside your right leg and twist to the right. Come back to center. Bring your hands down, straighten your left leg, and step forward. Bend your knees a little, bring your hands under your waist, and stand up. Cool. Now, stand with your feet about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. I'm just going to turn at an angle so you can see what's happening. You can do this with me, but you might want to be able to see the screen if it's unclear. Hold your hands out in front of you, doesn't really matter how. Straighten your arms. Push down through your feet, and then turn by moving your arms over to the left, and then turn with your shoulders, turn with your hips, and then when you get with your arms over by your left hip, lift your right heel so that you can keep turning, pivot on your right ball of your foot so you can turn to the left even more, and then come back to center. So when you do that, my left foot stayed on the ground and I pivoted on my right foot, so it's like this. Cool. Go over to the right. Move your arms over to the right. And as you start to get with your hands over almost as wide as your hip, lift your left heel and pivot and keep the turn going. And then come back to center. Go to the left. And back to center. Go to the right. One more each side. This is just a core stabilizer. We're going to focus on our core stabilizers, our obliques. So it's just good to get them stable now. Release your arms. Okay, now bring your feet together. Stretch your arms up overhead. And bring your hands together. Squeeze your head, squeeze your legs in, stretch out, and side bend to the right. In Doodleasana, or standing side bend, we usually call it. Squeeze your legs together, side bend a little more to the right. Really shorten your right side. That's where your obliques live. Come up, and side bend to the left. Squeeze your legs in, shorten your left side, fire up those obliques, and come back up to center. Bring your arms down to your side. Separate your feet about hip distance apart. Make your feet parallel to each other and take your arms out like cactus pose. So it's elbows out to the sides, palms up. And then take your right knee and right elbow and bring them together to touch. It's a bit weird. Bring your foot down and then go to the other side. Left knee, left elbow to touch, and then alternate between those. Right to right, left to left. Think about lowering your elbow as little as possible and still getting your knee and elbow to touch. And then do that as best as you can. And do one more each side. And then let it go. And now come to the top of your mat and stand in Tadasana. Stretch your arms up overhead and fold forward. Uttanasana. Step your right leg back, lunge. Lift your torso. This time stretch your arms up for crescent lunge, and then we're going to bring in that standing side bend. So hold your right wrist with your left hand, try not to fall over. Hold your right wrist with your left hand, stretch your left knee over your ankle and reach up and side bend to the left. So I call this crescent, because I'm kind of combines two poses called crescent. And it's great for your obliques. Shorten your left side, come up to center. Bring your hands down to the ground and change sides. I don't care how you change sides, but change sides. So you get your right leg forward, left leg back. Lift your torso, stretch your arms up. Crescent lunge or Ashtachandrasana. Hold your left wrist with your right hand, stretch up, and side bend to the right. Crescent, crescent. Shorten your right side. Come up to center. Bring your hands down to the ground and change sides. Step your left leg forward, right leg back eventually. So you have your left foot forward, left ankle under your knee, right leg back and straight. Lift your torso, bring your hands in front of your heart. Stretch up through your spine, smile, and twist to the left. So now it's twisted lunge with your knee off the ground. See, we've moved out of the warm-up into the meat of class. Of course, that's vegan meat, plant-based meat. Stay healthy. Come back to center, touch the ground, and change sides. Lift your torso, bring your hands in front of your heart. Stretch up through your spine, and twisted lunge to the right. Hook your left arm outside your right leg, push down and twist. And come back to center, bring your hands down to the ground and step forward. Bring your hands under your waist and stand up. Cool. Tree pose. Bring your feet together for Vrikshasana. Turn your right leg out. Lift your foot up, place your foot on the inside of your left leg. Bring your hands in front of your heart for just a moment. Find your stability here. And then stretch your arms up. Straighten your arms from your elbows. Stretch out through your right knee. Think about the sides of your ribs. Draw the sides of your ribs down a little bit. Move the front of your ribs back. And move the back of your ribs forward. What? I know. See what happens. Release your arms, release your leg. Tadasana. Other side, turn your left leg out. Vrikshasana. Bring your left foot onto the inside of your right leg. Bring your hands in front of your heart and work to find your stability there. And then stretch your arms up overhead. Lift the outer corners of your mouth up. Very important alignment instruction. Push your left foot into your right leg. Stretch out through your left knee. Move the front of your ribs back, move the back of your ribs forward, and draw your sides of your ribs down a little. And Tadasana. Sit down. Come onto your back. And bend your knees. Set up like you're going to do bridge pose, but we're going to do oblique reaches instead. So stretch your arms towards your feet. Lift your head and shoulders. Have your feet about hip distance apart. Feet roughly under your knees, but a little bit further away from that is also good for your knees. Place your palms flat on the ground. Lift your head and shoulders a little more. And then side bend to the right. Shorten your right side so your right hand slides past your right foot a little bit. And then come back to center. Side bend to the left. And back to center. So these are oblique reaches. Side bend to the right. Flex the obliques on your right side and reach with your right hand. Come back to center. Reach with your left hand. Flex the obliques on your left side. Come back to center. Go to the right and center. Left and center. Go to the right and back. Left and back. Do 3 more each side. Really? Yeah. Lift your shoulders. Lift your head. And when you're done, bring your head and shoulders down to the ground. Cool. And downward facing dog. Flip it over and come up into downward facing dog. Turn onto the outer edge of your right foot and step your left foot in front of your hips. Bring your left hand onto your waist. So it's what I call the kickstand variation of side plank or Vashisthasana. You can stay here or take your left foot on top of your right leg. Whichever variation you're in, It's good. Lift your chin out of your chest. Stay here. Do what's appropriate for you. You're going to get the most benefit there. Because we got to do more here. Lower your right hip. It won't go down much, but lower it some. And then lift it up. Lift it higher than it would be in Palakasana or Vashisthasana. Then lower it. That's this pose. Lower it and drop it. Lift it up. These are just hip lifts. Lower it. They're great for your obliques. Lift it up. Do 2 more. Drop your hip. Lift it up. Drop your hip. Lift it up. Good news. Time for the second side. Downward facing dog. And then come out over onto the outer edge of your left foot. Step your right foot in front of your hips, or go right to feet stacked if you know that's where you're going. So feet stacked or right foot in front of your hips. Have your right hand on your hips, lift your chin out of your chest, lift up through your hips a little, and then lower them down. Lift them up, and lower them down. If you feel any wavering here and you almost fall, or you do fall, that's okay, just come back to it. That falling and almost falling helps to fire up your obliques. Keep working through lowering your hip, lifting your hip, and do 2 more on this side. And then downward facing dog. And then come down to your knees and swing your legs around and come over onto your butt. Lie down, bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Oh, this is a fun one. Take your left hand and lift your right knee up and in so you can take your left hand and touch your right knee. If you're used to my classes, these are my cross core crunches. Take your right hand behind your head, lift your right heel as high as your right knee. Straighten your left arm by pushing your right knee away, and then take your head back, take your right elbow to the side and look up. And now take your left leg, stretch it out straight and hover it off the ground. So this is our starting position. Left leg straight, hovering off the ground, right heel as high as our right knee, left hand touching our right knee, left arm straight. Right hand behind your head, right elbow wide, look up. Have your head off the ground, left foot off the ground. I know, we've been here for a while, right? What are we gonna do? We're gonna do some cross-core crunching. Bring your left knee, right elbow to touch your left arm. Lift your head and chest and stretch it out. Draw it in and stretch it out. Draw it in, touch, and open it up. Come in, lift your shoulders higher, open it up. Do 5 more. Curl it in and out, in, and out. Just 3 more. Last one, and then change sides without stopping. So change sides, right hand to left knee, straighten your right leg, left hand behind your head. Hover your right heel off the ground, open up your left elbow, look up. And then go, right knee, left elbow, touch your right arm. Open it up, straighten your right leg, hover it off the ground, draw it in, touch elbow to knee, open it up. Curl it in, and open. Lift your shoulders, bring your elbow and knee to touch, and open. Do 5 more. Curl it up and in, and stretch it out. Curl it in, and out. 3 more. Keep breathing. Last one. And bring your head to the ground, feet to the ground, arms to the ground. Lift your hips up just casually, just lift them up. Just gives your belly a chance to get a little rest here and reset. And then bring your hips down to the ground. Stand up. Separate your feet about as high as your hips. And remember, back to the warm-up, when we were doing cactus arms, elbow to knee, we're going to turn it up a notch here. Take your hands behind your head. And now we're going to go elbow to knee, but you have a lot less movement for your elbow. So let's go right elbow, right knee to touch. And hold. And bring it down. If you didn't hold it, that's okay. Just do your best. On this side. Left knee, left elbow, touch, and hold, and bring it down. Right knee, right elbow, touch, hold, and down. Left, touch, hold, and down. Right, touch, left, touch. Go a little faster. Bring your right knee up, and down. Left knee up, and down. Right knee up, and down. Left knee up, and down. We're going to hold again. Right knee up and hold. and down. Left knee up and hold. And down. Right knee up and hold. And down. Last one. Left knee up and hold. And bring it down. All right, release. Shake it off. Good times. Cool. Downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Push through your hands. Lift up through your hips. Stretch your heels back and down. Take your right knee outside your left arm. So take your right knee, shift forward with your shoulders. Bring your right knee outside your left arm. See if you can touch above your left elbow. Look forward and go back to down dog. Then take your left knee outside your right arm. Shift your shoulders forward like you're coming into plank. Bring your left knee forward, take it outside your right arm. If you got to your elbow, awesome, great work. See if you can lift it above your elbow. Whoa, yeah, look forward and downward facing dog. Right knee, left arm, shift forward, touch, down dog. Left knee, right arm, shift forward, touch, down dog. Right knee, left arm, shift forward, look forward, down dog. Left knee, right arm, look forward, down dog. One more to the right. Well, right leg left, down dog. Left leg right, down dog. And let's just see what happens. Walk your hands back about halfway to your feet. Shift your shoulders over your wrists. Oh, what's happening? I know. Push through your hands. Walk your feet in a little. Lift your hips up. Bend your left knee, lift your right leg up, and straighten your right leg. What's happening? I don't know. It's not handstand. Shift your shoulders over your wrists. Lift your right leg, bend your left knee. And then you're just going to do a little hop here. So push with your left leg so that your left foot comes off the ground and then right back down. Just do a little hop, up and down. Hop up and down. Hop up and down and change sides. Bring your right foot down, bend your right knee, lift your left leg up. Shift your shoulders forward over your wrists. Bend your right knee a little. Lift your left leg and then do a little hop. Little hop. And one more, bend your right knee, then push off and hop, and come down, and come into child's pose. Cool, bring your arms back at your sides. Slow your breath down. Especially when an inversion comes along, that can really throw us. Sit up. And then stretch your legs out in front of you. Have your hands behind your hips. Point your fingers out a little bit towards the side. So I usually do somewhere between not quite out to the side, not quite straight ahead. Is it 45-degree angle? I don't know. I never measured it. Bring your feet together. Push down through your hands, push down through your heels, and lift your hips up. Now lift your hips higher and point your toes. See if you can get your toes down to the ground. The way to do that is by lifting your hips up a lot. To help do that, push your hands down a lot. Lift through your chest, roll your shoulders back. And then take your chin out of your chest and look up. Purvottanasana. Tighten up your butt, squeeze your legs in, push through your hands, stretch your toes forward and down. Lower your hips and come down. Straighten your legs, stretch your arms up. While you're here, walk your hips back a little bit. Adjust your pelvis a little, shake it, get it settled, stretch up, and fold forward, Paschimottanasana. Grab your feet, lift through your chest, stretch your head forward, and fold forward. Pull on your legs and push your feet away. If your legs are bent, just take your hands further up your legs so that you can straighten your legs and hold them. Stretch by pulling on your legs. Stretch your head towards your feet. Move your shoulders away from your ears. Lengthen through your neck. Straighten your legs. Good times. Paschimottanasana. Intense stretch of the back, supposedly, but most of us have to get through that hamstring stretch before we even start to feel the back. Keep pulling on your legs. Lift your head and your chest. Sit up and come onto your back. Bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. We're going to do a proper bridge pose. Stretch your hands towards your heels. Push your feet into the ground. Have your knees as wide as your ankles. Bend your elbows so that your fingers point up towards the ceiling. And then push your upper arms down. Expand your chest. Push your shoulders down. Open up the front of your chest. Even like you're trying to do a back bend here while you're still on the ground. And then push your feet down. Push your upper arms down. Lift your hips up. Underneath your lower back, interlace your hands. Then lean onto your left arm. Tuck your right arm underneath you. Then lean onto your right arm. Tuck your left arm underneath you. Step to Bunda Sarvangasana. Straighten your wrists. Pull your feet towards your hands. Stretch your hands towards your feet. And lift your hips up. Push your shoulders down. Lift your upper back. Release your hands. And lower your hips. Stretch your legs out. And if you've got space, stretch your arms up and overhead. We did a belly down version of this. Maybe not in this class, but we do a belly down version of this a lot. But here we're going to do it on our backs. Keep your legs on the ground. Push down through your hips, push down through your heels. And side bend to the left. Take your arms over your head, your upper body over. Touch your fingers to the ground if it's available. And now think about your right side and really stretch your right side. So shorten your left side and lengthen your right. And then come back up to center and go over to the left. Take your fingers over to the left, take your arms over to the left, take your upper body over to the left. I've got my props in the way, but I'm navigating it as best as I can. Shorten your right side so you can really start to lengthen your left. Give your whole left side a stretch. And then come back to center. Bend your knees, bring your knees up and into your chest. Hold the fronts of your knees. Just give yourself a little massage for your lower back. Just draw little circles in the air with your knees so that your lower back can just roll on the ground a little. Bring your knees into your chest and move them away. Start to rock back and forth a little bit. Keep your head on the ground or don't, as you like. And then start to slow down your movements. And bring your knees in and wrap your arms around your legs. Lift your head and shoulders and draw yourself up into a tight little ball. And then relax. Bring your head to the ground. Bring your feet to the ground. Stretch your arms down at your sides. Straighten your left leg. Straighten your right leg. Find your way into Shavasana. If you like props to wrap yourself up or to support you, find them. Take a couple of deeper cleansing breaths to help you let go of the work. Let go of your muscles, let go of your mind, and just rest. Think about your belly, the sides of your waist, across your chest, And in your back as well. Ask your upper body to relax. Belly, your sides, across your chest, and in your back. Just let it go. Start to deepen your breath. And start to move as you like to move to wake yourself up from Shavasana to help you make this transition from being on your back to being upright. And make that transition. Bend your knees. Turn onto your side and press yourself up. And join me in a seated position. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Look down at the ground past your nose. Relax your eyes. Maybe even close your eyes. Thank yourself for making this time, for creating this space for you to go on this oblique adventure. Thank you for making this time. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this practice. I hope you can really feel it in your obliques, and hopefully you'll feel it tomorrow in your obliques as well. This is really going to help you build your stability and your strength to hold yourself up as you go through life. And really, that's what we use yoga for. It's great. Thanks for practicing. If you want to do another class with me in the future, there's a class of mine you can just click on, add it to your watch later list. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please just click my picture over there and subscribe. If you've got any questions, stick it in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Thanks, OMies. See you soon.